Anyways, yeah, I got a few topics, man. First off, banks. Customer service is shit. Tried to Zelle. I can't Zelle any motherfucker from my bank account.
What do you bank through?
Atlantic Union Bank,
right?
Yeah. They fucking suck.
Yeah.
Not just them, but every bank. Why? And I'll ask this question, and it should be a no-brainer. When you call a bank, or any business for that matter, and they give you options for automated shit, 10 out of 10, you're going to click the I want a representative button.
Yeah.
10 out of fucking 10. It's worthless for you to...
Dude,
10 out of fucking 10.
Who calls on the phone to find out the balance in their account? Nobody does that.
I want to speak to a human being because my shit is not... If you're calling, you have an issue.
Dude, for most of these companies, to find a representative, you almost have to know the cheat code.
Yes.
Like where, when you're growing up and your friend has like the written, it's L2, R2, you could do all these like things in a row. And then you finally get the cheat code. Well, this is how it is in like as a grown-up. You got to be like, all right, press 1, then press 3, then say, representative, and then press 2. Finally to speak to a real person.
And I'll tell you, that's what the show, we were a little later than we should be, and I had to move some money around for pump.
Had to pay the cartel.
Yep. Well, anyways, fucking Zelle didn't work. So I was like, all right, let me call the bank and figure out what the fuck is going on because I don't need to be driving.
Were you trying to Zelle
town.
that much money?
I was just trying to Zelle $200.
Oh, no, you can do that. I thought you were talking about paying for a pump. Yeah.
Fucking dick.
Yeah.
And it said, this transaction cannot be completed. Please call, blah, blah, blah. So I called, and of course you call, and it's, we have the Well, first off, we're experiencing more call volume at this moment.
Oh, yeah.
It's
no.
And as a business owner.
You can't play the COVID shit still.
Exactly. And as a business owner, if you're having to leave that message on your voice thing saying we're experiencing more call volume, hire more motherfuckers then.
Well,
right?
A lot of people don't want to work. That's another thing,
Dude. This fucking world's 90% of shit out there is worthless. Businesses, everything, people.
Yeah,
that's
a good rule of thumb.
Small few.
90% of people, food, places, whatever you want. Yeah.
Worthless.
Yeah, worthless.
It just blows my mind. That whole experience the past hour has just blown my mind. How somebody hasn't. I don't know. I feel like if you opened a bank right now, and I don't mean to harp on it much more, but if you opened a bank and you guaranteed. Because a bank at the end of the day holds your money, first off. Holds your money and lends your money to other people to make money off your money.
Yeah.
That's the whole business concept of a bank, which is fucked. It's like a mob.
Yeah, it's a pretty good business plan.
It's a loan shark.
Yeah.
They take your money, hold it, and lend it to other people.
Yeah.
It's fucked. Anyways, how is somebody, if a bank was to guarantee that if I called them 100%, they are not going to have any automated things. They're going to have a human being pick up the phone. I would move to them immediately, because every bank's the same. You can't change it any differently. You're going to hold my money. That's all. That's what most people want. Mm-hmm. And if your argument is, you can make some interest off my savings, you get more interest from my dick, than the bank savings.
Yeah, there's really no interest to be made, even if it's CDs or any of that. That's bullshit.
So if you were to offer anybody's trying to start a bank out there. 100% human interaction. We're going to create a relationship. You don't even have to fucking know my name, but just answer
it goes
the phone.
past businesses or banking, because we've dealt with it with Comcast.
Oh, dude, they're horrible.
And so when we try and do our Comcast business Wi-Fi and anything like that, and when I've had to call Verizon, it's just beating around the bush, and they're like, "Hey, try tweeting our account, and we'll get back to you." No. I'm not doing that, dude.
Yo, I would laugh and hang up so quick, dude.
And they give you the runaround, so you tweet them, they tell you to call. You call, they tell you to email or tweet. It's just a cycle.
Get on your Instagram story and give us a shout out on what's your problem, and maybe we'll. What? Anyways, and mark my words, from this point forward, done with the banking shit right now. When Jim Flow gets to the point where we have that much customer service issues, which hopefully that would never be an issue. You're only calling for praising. Mm-hmm. You're going to be speaking to a human being. I don't care how much money. Extra money
speaking
costs.
of good customer service, I like companies that, and you usually got to be like high level small business or like personable big business to do this. But I like the companies that will do anything. Like, they'll replace whatever you have for free. Like, they don't even really question you.
They don't even want it back either.
They don't even want it back. They take care of you, and they don't even question it. just they'll pay for the shipping label. They'll send you something new. Sometimes you got to send it back, but they'll replace it. Like no questions asked. Even if you fucking broke it, they don't give a shit.
Well, even
I like those companies.
100%, and you're gonna buy from them again.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, so I think that's the idea, but sometimes it's just me because I'm a businessman, as Uncle G would say. I don't always like continue to buy from these companies because depending on the product, you only need it once, right?
Yeah, I get that.
But here's an example.
But you'll never say anything negative.
Yeah, so here's an example. I'll give you two. 2 years ago, the coffee grinder I have, it's like $100 grinder, but it's it's probably the nicest for the price you can get. Conical burr grinder. Otherwise, you get a blade, or like the nicer burr grinder is like $400 or something crazy. So anyway, it's a nice grinder. And every couple bags, I'll kind of like actually go through and really clean it from the bean dust and everything in it just for like a new bag or whatever. And what I had been doing, I think I did it once before this, but at least this one time, I was trying to clean it and I was like, oh, I'll like run some water through it because there's compartments you can take off of it and clean it. Well, I also took the base of it. You know, where the beans actually go down, where the grinder is, all that. Yeah. I took that and ran water through it. Well, you're not supposed to do that because I think there's some like electrical parts, I guess, that can get reached through there. And so, although I was cleaning out the water, I was breaking it. So then when I went to grind some more beans, it was not working. And I was like, oh. And so I emailed, it's OXO. So a pretty popular like company. They make kitchen supplies, all that kinds of shit, OXO. And they, they explicitly say on their website, like if you cause water damage or broke, went against the, disclaimers, whatever, it's on you. But I went in and I was like, my grinder's not working. Like, here's the deal. Now, they didn't fully cover it. I did have to ship it myself, but it was like $20 to ship it. So I, boxed it, shipped it. They replaced it for free. Basically sent me another $110, $120 grinder for free when it was my fault. I like that, And here's another example that's more recent is, Maddie and I are getting married Friday, and I have some old rings from shooting some, what do you call it? Influencer content, whatever, paid content for Enso, big silicone ring company. And they sent me like 4 of these. Well, the ring, I told them I sized wrong. It's like a size too big. And, I was like thinking about shrinking them with like, boiling it in water. But I saw that A, doesn't always work long term. And then B, you can actually like damage the integrity of the ring, blah, blah. But here's the thing. So if you buy them from Enso, they have a lifetime guarantee. They have an exchange, whatever. And so I was like, damn it. I don't have an order number because I got them for free. But let me just try. And so I emailed them. Got a response from a they, them, just as a tidbit.
Hold on. So they answered the phone like that?
No, it was over email.
I was about to.
Yeah.
So how'd you see it, though?
I only find it interesting, not to bitch about it.
And
but
the
just
email,
it's,
where was it placed?
It was like person's name, they, them. So I just thought it was kind of interesting because.
How many of them are you?
Yeah.
How many
who
are
am I
you?
speaking to?
Yeah, which one of y'all?
Which one?
Out of they, them. That's plural, right?
Yeah, I should have
said.
Fucking
wild.
Hello, sir, ma'am. Person.
Hello, y'all.
Yeah, but no, they were very helpful. So not to harp on it, but I just thought it was interesting.
Shit. Man.
Yeah, it's just when you see it, it's
laughable.
It's interesting. Yeah,
laughable
is a fair word.
Hey, I'll say it.
No, I'll say it. I mean, it's comical. I do think it's that. But anyway, back to the story. Luckily, they assisted me, and they were like, although we don't normally do exchanges after 30 days, because I claimed it was gifted to me because I didn't have the order number. I claimed it was gifted to me. And they were like, we're happy to exchange it, blah, blah. So I sent a picture. So I don't know if I'm going to get all 4 replaced. I don't really give a shit. If I can just get one that's my actual size for free, like I'll take it. So
I'll give you a little insight. When I first got married, I bought, because I did not want to invest. Obviously, I bought Sarah a ring, a nice ring. But myself, I was like.
You know how I played it?
What?
So I didn't do this on purpose. I'm not that much of a cheap ass.
Oh.
No. But
Tell me.
Maddie has basically like an heirloom, basically the ring that Maddie's dad, because her mom remarried, the ring that her dad gave her mom, and so there's some sentiment to that. Gotcha. Her mom still has it, and so I proposed with that ring. Nice. So it's still kind of like in the family. It's not more of a traditional heirloom in that sense, but it means a lot to Maddie since she has, obviously deep love for both of her parents.
Yeah. So I did something similar, not to go too far off. I bought Sarah a ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bought Sarah a ring,
Yeah.
an engagement ring,
Yeah.
pretty much, and then her mom reached out and was like, "Hey,
This
her
is
grandmother."
shit.
No, she was like,
Okay,
her grandmother
yeah.
who passed away had a wedding ring that she wore, loved,
Yeah.
and I think it's beautiful. I don't want to like step on any toes, but could I get her engagement ring from you and get her grandma's wedding
Like
band,
merged or
like
something?
merged to it,
Yeah.
like welded to it?
Uh-huh.
I was like, sure. Now it looks like a fat, like big ass ring.
Nice. Yeah.
Way more. And
Than
of
what
course,
you did. Yeah.
like the ring, I'm not going to put my cost out there because I
Yeah.
don't want to seem like a
Mhm.
cheap ass either. But my ring was mid grade.
Yeah,
Lower
mine
to
would have been
mid-grade.
mid-grade. Well, we've
And
talked
then-
about it before. I mean, these are things that, especially with Maddie and I, like working out a lot, it's like you're not going to wear it all the time, first of
Yes.
all. And it's just, it has strong meaning,
It does.
but it's a little ring. It's a little ring, and the people that spend 10 grand on it, I just laugh at them. I'm like, what are you doing?
Unless for some reason you're planning on, I don't know.
If you got to finance it for longer than a year,
Yeah.
you're overspending.
Oh yeah. No, I paid mine cash.
Yeah, and I would have been able to pay mine like immediately. yeah.
But the ring that they welded to my engagement ring that I bought Sarah was supposedly like worth like 10 or 15,000. I was like, ugh. Y'all might not want to even weld that one to the one I bought her because it's going to devalue it actually.
Yeah.
So when she told me that, I was like, holy shit, sure you can because it's going to make Sarah feel better. And obviously it looks good. But anyways, I bought rubber rings because I lift,
silicone
blah, blah,
rings,
blah.
yeah.
From Amazon, you get a pack of like 10 for like
Yeah,
$15.
no, I know. They're super cheap. Enzo's like we'll charge you more, but it's a really professional, clean looking brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of shit. Again, I wouldn't probably buy them personally, but since I already had them, you know what I mean?
I don't
But,
want to like harp on too much, but I feel like I need to say it. Things that like I stand for as a brand, back to refunding somebody or like sending somebody something
Yeah.
back. In the past, we've done that too. And when you mention that of like that company accepting responsibility or just like
Well, you've done it
not
when it wasn't
questioning.
even your fault. Like I remember
Yes.
someone had something with the fever. They
Yeah.
said, was it like it smelled different or something?
I think one of the pills was discolored.
Yeah, one of the pills was discolored, and that has nothing to do with the efficiency
integrity of it,
and the
yeah.
integrity of the product. It wasn't past its due date or expiration, but you still went out of your way to send them a whole new bottle.
Yeah.
You know? What
And
what if you just sent the one
The
pill?
one pill. We're gonna send you a replacement pill. But yeah, I usually, because most people, at least people that hopefully support my brand or support Gym Flow, aren't fuckheads
Yeah.
and aren't going to take advantage of the system. Which, if they do, obviously, hopefully, I'd keep up with it over time. But most of the
Break
time,
some kneecaps.
I have hope in people. So when you reach out to me and you say, "Hey, this is wrong," or "That didn't show up," or blah blah blah, I'll usually send something immediately without even asking.
Yeah.
Just being like, "Hey, here's a replacement. It's already on the way."
Yeah.
But anyways, so what about? And this is a hard transition because I had topics in my head that I was just boiling.
I feel like I know what you're going to ask.
So how have you been keeping up with some swimming lately?
Yes. All right, let's just hit it. I thought about talking about this, but
Yeah.
I wanted to get the actual studies so I could present them. So
Studies
we
on
weren't.
what?
So
Boys have
because I don't
PPs.
want us to just get quickly labeled as
Okay.
transphobic.
We're
But
not.
listen, if you don't believe whatever I'm saying, you can message me. I'll get you the studies. We can go from there. But there's been multiple studies now. One was, I think, done a couple of years ago, and then I think one was either a meta-analysis or a study wrapped up fairly recently. But what they were looking at was transgender athletes who have been, because the Olympic policy has been if you basically transition and start taking hormones to suppress your testosterone for at least 2 years, you can compete in women's division. So that's the current policy, and that's what's guided some of NCAA policy, like moving forward, because it's been a rapidly changing topic. So the studies were looking at, hey, we took a number of these transgender athletes and looked at, after 2 years, how has their strength, their power, all these different things been changed in their own, testosterone. How basically they looked at everything from them hormonally and performance-wise after 2 years. And what they found is there's still a clear, substantial discrepancy in their ability the gap can't be closed just with drugs, basically.
Yeah. agree.
And obviously, it really boils down to biological differences between men and women. And once you go through puberty, there's a lot of changes that can't be reversed, even with hormones. And so I believe it was something like a 13% still increase in most capabilities. Specifically power and strength are the biggest obvious traits that men have an advantage in when sports. And, some sports, the gap starts to close a little bit, specifically things like obviously gymnastics, endurance sports. It seems like the longer the distance with endurance, whether it's cycling or running, the gap closes, but there's still a significant gap. I think the smallest percentage different there was that men had over women was something like 6% improved performance, just to be vague about it. So when it comes to, is it Leah Thomas? Something like that? Anyway, the NCAA, the recent news with this transgender athlete winning first place, and I believe beating 2 Olympic medalists that were women that won second and third. It's unfortunate. We've talked about it months ago, talking about what our thoughts are on powerlifting, but the same rules apply. What are your thoughts on it?
I am not on here to dehumanize or belittle anybody at all in any manner. And I was thinking, after I read a few comments, I try not to because that's where a lot of heat can come from. Yeah. And it's like, why am I even investing time into this bullshit? Because I'm not playing the sports, whatever. But it's something that should be protected, though, for sure.
So yeah, and I brought that up to Maddie when I first saw the tweet. I mentioned it to Maddie just because, I want to see her reaction. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's impacting women's sports. Even though almost completely than it's going to impact men's, because even if they're taking testosterone, women transitioning to men aren't going to have the same dominance or impact. And here's another infographic I saw. I feel like these kinds of advocates love to make infographics on Instagram and have that be the end all be all. But I saw one that was like, conservative talking heads say that, trans athletes are dominating women's sports, but, they can't name more than one or two. And it's not that they're dominating them as a whole, even though we've seen multiple examples at this point, and I think it'll only increase with time. But it's still an impact overall, even if they aren't winning first place. It still has an impact on who won fourth, who won fifth, who didn't make the team, whose record was changed. So it goes beyond just the headlines or the first place awards. And so just saying, hey, we aren't seeing complete broad umbrella dominance by trans athletes doesn't mean that there's not an issue there. Yes. It's ignorant to make that claim. And to your point, I think both of us are coming at it more from an objective standpoint. We're not talking about, hey, they shouldn't transition or demonizing how they feel or whatever they're going through. We're just looking at it as far as safety, as far as competitiveness, as far as protecting women's sports. And I
get it. I thought about it. I was like, well, if I didn't like something or didn't agree with something about my body that I wanted to change, of course, I want all the rights that I want to be able to change, whatever it may be, a cosmetic thing or
hormonal
fucking tattoo. I mean, for a simpler term, whatever. I can do whatever to my body, so can you. Yeah. But I'm not going to make you conform around my decisions.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a bitch.
I think it's a tough situation just because it's like, do you make them go in their own division? I don't think you can do that just because, that just adds to the exclusive, environment, I guess, like excluding them. But it also, I don't think there's enough trans athletes to make those kinds of divisions. And then it still wouldn't really make them feel at home, like I said. But at the same time, I think you have to compete within your biological division just because when it comes to sports, something where, competitiveness and fairness in sport matters and is important to these protected classes of women or age group or weight class. They're there for a reason. We don't have a 155-pound male fight a heavyweight. They're separate classes for different reasons. Yeah. In the same way, we don't have men compete against women in hockey and soccer
Fighting's the
and
biggest one.
anything. Fighting's, you can see just, again, when it comes to the power and strength and size, there's just such a large discrepancy that, you know, there isn't going to close the gap, you know. They just aren't equal. I mean, you can look at the women's flyweight champion of Valentina Shevchenko, and she's incredible, probably one of the best martial artists in the world, regardless of gender. But even if you take her and put her up against, you know, Davison Figueiredo, the men's flyweight champion, same weight, but men and women, like, he's just going to be massively faster, stronger. It's just, we have to acknowledge differences when we're looking at things objectively. It comes down to this. We have to, when it comes to sport, we have to look at the objective nature of these things. And I think over time, I don't think it will be an issue, just because I think enough women will make a stand and speak out against it.
Yes.
I think as the issues arise. So I don't think it's up to us to really harp on it too much.
No.
But
the reason I brought it up, and I think we're talking
it's a
about
fair,
it now, it
interesting
needs to
thing.
be protected in some sorts. Like, there can't be a gray line. It needs to be, you know, it doesn't need to be one way or the other, but there needs to be some type of standard. Because what if I want to be, you know, I don't feel as man enough as I should. I need to be able to take more testosterone. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I want to feel more manly.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
why can I compete once I start taking a shit ton of juice?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, is it's, you know, if you've had, in this person's case, 18, I don't know when they transition, let's just say 16 or 18 years of testosterone and life as a biological male, you can't just ignore that advantage once you switch over. You know, if you took testosterone for 18 years and then came off, it's not like you can just go compete as a natural. You know what I mean? So I guess that's our end opinion or take on it, is that when it comes to your own life and decisions outside of sport, we don't care. We support it.
No,
do what you want.
Man.
And then when it comes to sport, I think there does need to be an objective line drawn sooner rather than later, so that these issues don't become they'll be controversial regardless, but they don't become as gray in the decision.
Don't see maybe is it accountability that I'm like get more pissed off at? It's your decision to make those changes to yourself. Just like if I wanted to make changes to my body, not saying just like transition, but anything, I'm going to accept it and realize, hey, I'm not going to be able to do
now
certain
that I've
things
done
now.
this. Yeah,
I'm not going to. People aren't going to conform around me because I'm got my panties in a bunch.
Yeah,
and I want things changed. Fuck you.
I'd like to find
you're trying to bend the world around you. The world doesn't bend around one.
Yeah, I'd like to find. I can't do it on the spot, but I'd like to find an example that kind of goes along with what you're getting at.
It's accountability, I guess.
Yeah,
simplest
I know what you're
term,
saying, but
fuck.
Yeah.
Speaking of testosterone, I just
Yeah,
finally
you
got
just
my
got.
shit.
I know.
I'm prescribed. This is legal.
Yeah, I saw
can
that.
talk.
Did you take a double dose? Like I said,
immediately.
Dude, did you see? Real quick, did you see Dobie last night? The picture I sent
somebody
you.
throw him?
I can't. No, dude. I'll show you the video. So.
Looks like you're
I
6 foot in the
can't.
air.
I can't explain it on audio, but basically, he's jumping. He's having the zoomies at night, and he's running off our bed, and he nearly jumps off the ground and clears our queen-like size bed. And so there's this screenshot I have of him just like a bunny, like probably 2 feet above our bed, just zooming. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. But yeah, back to your testosterone.
Yeah. Shit showed up.
How's it? Have you taken it today, or are you still?
No, I took it this morning. First
finishing
dose
off
this
your
morning.
olive oil.
Yeah. So pretty. It's my first experience with this. Mail order, pretty much testosterone. It's prescribed through a doctor down in Florida, and I'll give more. I guess I can give a quick background of it. So I reached out to this clinic down in Florida, gave them my spiel, and overall, I'm going to be honest with it, they kind of just passed this shit out. Like they don't. I mean, they listened to my story about like me being on testosterone for years before this, and they were like, "All right, so
you're like, my name's Austin, blah blah blah." And they're like, "All right, Bill, we'll get it shipped out to you."
Yeah, we got your test coming to you. But it pretty much was that pretty much blunt and straightforward. There weren't a ton of questions asked. Obviously, they did my blood work to see what my natural test levels look like, which were way above normal. So I wasn't technically low T, but I'm sure because I just hit an injection about a week and a half before I got blood work. And so my blood work looked great for anybody asking. For me being on testosterone since I've been pretty much 23, and I'm 32 now. Blood work was completely normal. The only things were off were my testosterone was above 1,500 milligrams or 1,500.
And because of estrogen
level.
was higher, right?
And because of that, my estrogen was too high as well. So which I'm excited to see, they prescribed me testosterone, obviously, 200 milligrams per week. So that's 2 injections, like a Tuesday, Friday type thing. And then they also prescribed me an AI, which is just an anti-estrogen called an anastrozole. And I don't remember the dosage on that, but it's a pill. I'll take it the day after injection. I'll take one
Take
pill.
it anally.
Yeah, suppository. 2 knuckles deep.
Oh.
They said not 1 knuckle, 2 knuckles.
Yeah, and then you got to squeeze
and
hold for 30 seconds
try and
before it'll... Oh, suck it back
suck
up.
it back
Yeah.
in. Kegels.
Yeah, a couple sets of that to get it up in the
And
intestines.
handstand.
Oh, yeah, Sarah will have to hold you by your ankles.
But did my first injection this morning. Very smooth. I don't like, I've done it for some time now to where, it isn't like, whoa, it's
organic.
Wild. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to go on this path because hopefully me being transparent with this on the show and maybe with a few videos, showing that like if you're going to do this or if you're going to take testosterone in any fashion, it's probably a good idea. It's a little bit more costly, but all the costs are going into your health long term. So you're getting consistent blood work now, or I'm going to be getting. I haven't gotten blood work in forever. So now I'm going to be getting consistent blood work, checking my hormones, checking my cholesterol, checking my prostate, shit like that. And then also
Checking your prostate.
Well, not internally. They can check like your levels through the blood to see if you have
I was
like
going to say, you're not
prostate
old
cancer.
enough for that yet.
No, they can check to see if like, I guess your white blood cell might be elevated. I'm not sure the technical terms on it or whatever, but they check a few different things. And it's cool because I would have never known my estrogen was high, That's one perk of it. So tomorrow I'll take the anastrozole, and hopefully maybe I can only imagine what I'll feel like now taking consistent pharmacy grade testosterone instead of that crazy olive oil, and then having my estrogen in check,
Yeah.
So if you're on the fence or if you've been doing some bullshit, just take the leap and reach out to a doctor. You do your own research, but I feel better about it.
You feel better, more at home.
I feel
to
like
do that.
it's weight off my shoulders because I'm not, I don't know what the fuck I was putting in my body.
Yeah, it definitely gives you more peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I was thinking about, I feel like we're having some good topics today. We started with some banking, then engagement rings, then transgender, and now testosterone. We're all over the place. But the next thing I wanted to bring up was something I thought about this morning, and it revolves around saying yes to opportunities that come your way, even if they're unknown. Just because in the past 2 months, whether it's different jobs or things I've taken on, sometimes you got to take on tasks with confidence, not knowing where you're headed.
Exactly.
And well, I'll touch on it briefly. It's not like it's like a hidden thing or anything like that. But I've been writing more copy for 10,000. It's a brand I've been partnered with as an athlete for like 2 years, but they had me help assist write some captions, and then now I've been writing a lot more other things for their website, product pages, etc. And it's funny because I have no formal experience writing any copy. I don't have a degree in communication and marketing, any of that. But sometimes it's not about having the formal experience, but it's about having the ability to do the job and the confidence to and the courage to just take a shot at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I could have easily been like, oh, I don't know. I could have been nervous and been like, I've never done this. I don't feel comfortable doing this. I'm going to feel embarrassed. I don't want to mess up something that I have a relationship with them. I don't want to look, any kind of way. But I kind of just was like, hey, I'm going to give this my all. I'm going to act like I belong. And, it's worked great, and I've been, it's okay to learn on the job too. Yeah. And it goes beyond, what I'm doing right now.
That's the best place to learn, right?
It's the best place to learn is experiencing on the job. And that, you're only going to get that with time and with experience. A degree is great, but that first job, you're still going to have the same kind of thing. It might give you a little bit more instilled confidence, like, hey, I should be able to do this. But you still got to go out and get that job, and do the job. And, it goes along with running, too. It goes along with cycling. I get picked on constantly, still from that same damn reel, which I'm happy. It's got like 2 million views now, but constant running like a girl, running like Forrest Gump, running like T-Rex.
The girl's pretty good.
Dude, one dude was like, yeah, I would have reposted except you were running like my sister. I was like, fuck, dude. But, I've kind of accepted, hey, here's my running. I look like I'm barely moving, most days, slow paces, but at least I'm fucking trying, And you only get better with time. You only get better taking a stab at things. You're never going to go from 0 to professional athlete or 0 to six-figure business owner. You're going to have to go through stages where people are like, what's Gym Flow? Or Austin's like, got a whole website now or whatever's going on. And you got to, it goes back to what we talked about too with opening the gym. There's so many things I didn't know legally to do or business-wise or insurance-wise. And, you only learn by doing.
Yes.
I mean, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want on anything. Doesn't mean jack shit until you actually step up to the plate and do it.
Never a perfect time to do something.
There's never a perfect time to do something. And yeah, there's just so many people just like frozen, just like watching others do things instead of them taking their own like steps forward. Because, man, I was talking to someone the other day. I forgot who it was. But it basically revolves around the idea that things don't just happen over time. Like, you don't wake up today and then 6 months from now. Oh, it was revolving around this idea. When you're younger, you go through sports, schools, all these different decisions are made for you by parents, by teachers. So no wonder you end up graduating. You end up, playing on this team or whatever. You don't make these decisions. But once you graduate high school, you graduate college, you're on your own. It's up to you to move yourself to a different place. You could be in the same spot a year from now if you don't make any changes. But it's up to you to go out on that Saturday night, meet someone new. It's up to you to, start spending some hours creating this website. It's up to you to like make these little decisions that actually alter your future. But if you don't make any changes in the present, it's not like, something's just going to happen. It's bound to happen, or by default, life is going to either go one way or another. Your life and your future is a direct result of your present. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Present actions affect future consequences, either good or bad. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
I get it. No, I couldn't agree, man. And I think a lot of people getting back to like thinking they just don't have it in them. I think that's the lacking confidence, but you don't get confidence until you do something. You only get the confidence and like the urge to like want more or like realize you've got more in you until you actually test yourself at the gate.
And like what's the worst thing that happens?
Yeah, you die.
God damn.
But that's the way I see it. Like let me give you an example. I just jumped into this partnership with my mom buying this piece of property down there. It's made both of us very tight for money because a lot of the money came out up front for closing costs and all this other little fees that we just, all the things we didn't realize. Like you said, like you just don't know until you jump in. And there's never a perfect time to do it. We still would have been fucked even if we knew ahead of time that it was coming. But not that like I'm like I need to go find a loan or something like that, but like things are just tighter than I'd like them to be, but I'm going to make it happen. And you don't realize until you like put yourself or put your back against the wall, you'll figure a way to figure something out.
And a year from now,
worst thing you can do is die.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself.
What I was going to say was worst thing is it could fail.
Yeah.
But I think that's a little bit easier to push people to do.
When I say worst thing you can do is die, is like worst thing you can do is like not have money.
Like yeah, I know what you're going with.
You'll be okay. You're gonna.
But as hard as what you're going through right now is 6 months from now, you're gonna have a property up and running, ready to go. And a year ago, you weren't gonna have that. And if you didn't go in on that property, you wouldn't have it. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. It's not like fate just happened, or a lot of people are just letting their life. They're floating along the wind like a leaf. They're letting the wind dictate where they go, and whatever happens, happens. But you're never gonna magically change jobs or magically move states or magically do whatever unless you make that decision.
Yeah,
things don't just happen. Things happen because you made them happen.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but that's just what it is. And just assessing things is like you said. The worst thing you could happen is things could fail. It's like, so what? You keep trying, you learn from it. You either I wrote a caption a little bit on it. It's like you either lose or you learn. You either fail from that and don't absorb any lessons from it, or you use it as a learning thing. So either things work out, you win, or you learn from it. You got to look at it like that way, because if you look at it just as a loss and you learn nothing from it, it's just wasted experience.
Of course. And, you lose. You lose more than you win, honestly. For me, it's been that way. I mean, I've had some good wins, but I've had a lot more losses, and they're not big.
Well, the thing people forget too is the losses they're in silence. You know what I mean?
Are.
Like people, pay attention to when you do the race, when you cycle the 50 miles, when you open up the business, when you drop the new product. They don't see the times you had to scrap up some extra bills, or you had to work extra hours, staying up till 10, 12, o'clock, working. They don't see the injuries that pop up.
Yeah.
And some of that's by default of maybe them not being posted, but even if they are posted, people just don't want to see that. They only pay attention when things are going well for the most part, and they just nitpick those things.
Yeah. But
like you said, you lose more than you win.
You do. But the way, not to say we've made, like, we're where we need to be, but like, the reason we're still doing what we're able to do is because we keep showing up every day.
Yeah.
We keep showing up. We aren't just like, oh, well, I had that kick in the dick last week, so I'm going to just sit down and take that.
I love the quote.
You keep showing the fuck up, keep moving it forward.
I think it's accredited to Babe Ruth, which I feel like it could be him, but it just sounds wrong. But anyway, the quote is, it's hard to beat the man who keeps getting up.
Yeah.
Or it's hard to defeat the man that keeps getting up or keeps trying. And I think it is as simple as that. Like, if you keep showing up, you keep trying things, like, they just have to work, dude.
Yeah.
They just have to work. Like, how many businesses you start, how many, times you try and grow your Instagram, or you try and, get that job or whatever. It's like, as long as you are doing what I said and you're learning from the failures and plugging those holes, you're bound to have success if you keep trying, I mean, if you keep trying with the same result, you're not going to get a different result. You know what I mean? That's insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. But if you are learning from your mistakes, and the biggest thing that people have trouble with is just resiliency and consistency, and just continuing to show up like you said, you're bound to have some success, Especially in a world where the majority of people give up or they don't try at all. If you can just try, you're ahead of most people. And then if you consistently try, you're in the 1%,
Yeah.
It sounds ignorant, but it takes less than you think to be successful in this world, at least in America. You know what I mean?
For sure. You just have to care a little bit. You gotta care.
Yeah.
About whoever you're serving or trying to get value to, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, even being yourself.
Passion and consistency will take you far.
Yeah, exactly. Consistency. And I think a lot of people sit back and watch other people and can comment very easily, or talk negatively about it, and be the person that does the least, and thinks they know it all, or thinks
it's easy to talk from the stands,
for sure,
or the bleachers instead of on the field.
And most of the people that are out here in the mud, in the thick, getting those dick kicks, are the ones probably talking the least most of the time.
Yeah,
talking the least shit, because they realize how tough it is. Yeah. The people that are usually the loudest, or have the most shit to talk, most of the time.
I like the people that post about not talking, but by default, that is talking.
100%.
Those people crack me up.
100%. 100%. They're so oblivious.
Yeah.
But
people love it, though.
Yeah, no, they eat it up, man.
Eat it up. Yeah. And other news to kind of wrap things up, pump product dropping very soon.
So the bank talk was for me to deposit that money to release it. So expecting it to hopefully land here by Thursday. Tomorrow's
Do you have a set release date? Did you?
I know we mentioned a little bit.
It's up to you. I don't know if that's a definite date.
I'm down with April Fools.
All right, then fuck it.
Let's do it.
April Fools, not this Friday.
No, the following.
Next Friday, 4/1.
4/1.
Time to be decided. Yes. But dropping Gym Flow Pump, one product,
Yeah.
two flavors.
Two flavors.
Sour Sucker Punch and Blue Blizzard.
Yep.
Both are very good flavors. Both cool designs.
Fire.
Great products.
This took a long time. And I'm very
Yeah.
excited about this because it's been a while since we've had a pump product. When we first started the brand years ago, we did, and things sort of hit a little bump in the road, and we had to discontinue. But I'm excited to bring it back because a lot of people have asked for a non-stimulant pre-workout,
Yeah.
which could definitely take the place of a pre-workout if you don't like the caffeine, the jitters, or like just you work out in a weird
When
shift.
the biggest thing I told Peyton about it was I love that it doesn't have beta-alanine in it
Yes.
because a lot of pump products are having that because they're trying to be a non-stim pre-workout, which is great. But when you have beta-alanine in it, it cuts out the versatility of it. And what I mean is I can't combine it with All or Nothing or another pre-workout because I'll be over, jittery and itchy. I don't want that. I've had that with another product. No bueno.
Yeah.
So I like that it doesn't have beta-alanine. Obviously, it doesn't have caffeine. So you can either take it on its own, merge it with coffee, merge it with another pre-workout, take it on its own with no stimulants, and you're set.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what you want. Nothing you don't.
Nope.
So it's just going to increase, your pumps, your, what do you call it? Nitric oxide.
Hydration.
Dilate hydration, dilate the blood vessels.
It also has
all
a
that.
focus ingredient in
Focus
there, so
ingredient
something
as
to help
well.
you get a little more
So it's only
honed
going
in.
to enhance the workouts. I mean, it's exactly, the name of the game, supplement, right? It's going to
Yep.
supplement the workout, enhance your experience, which is what it's all about.
Sick, nasty pumps.
You feel good, you perform good.
Look good, feel good.
Yeah.
Juicy. Well, guys, hopefully there was a lot of like
Jumping
what's that shit
around.
called?
We're all over the
pinball,
place,
where it's
dude.
like bing, 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 bing,
I
bing
know.
topics.
Yeah.
But I was a little fired up getting into this thing.
Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Comment your thoughts.
Please.
And get pumped in a couple weeks. We'll probably have another podcast before it drops.
Yeah.
But either way,
I'd like to.
check us out on Instagram, the usual.
Follow us
Share
down
it.
below.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys. Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you.
Out.